Hello everybody. We're getting ready to do our test remediation, so let's make sure that our volume is up and we are listening. We need a pencil and we also need a highlighter, and then let's make sure that we're showing all the work that we do on the left side and then demonstrate that same work on the right side of the sheet so that we can get full credit back. Okay. Alright, so the left side is the most missed problems on the test, so let's go ahead and get started. This was one of the most missed. It says, which table of ordered pairs best represents a line that is, and this is why I wanted you to have your highlighter, keyword parallel to the line shown in the graph. So first thing we need to know is that parallel lines have the same slope, so I want you to draw an arrow to this guy here, and I want you to write same slopes. Now what we're going to do is we are going to rise and run and find the slope of this line, and we need to be very careful that we're picking points that go through the very corners of the boxes, so you got to look very closely. Alright, so now I'm going to rise and run. So I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know that slope is rise over run. So we went up 4 and to the right 5. So the slope on the graph is 4/5. And now I need to match the slope from the tables and find the one that has a slope of 4/5, because that's going to give me a parallel line. So we're going to do for each one of these, and we're just going to go ahead and do it for all 4. And remember, it'd be du, du. Down, up, down, up. So we get 8 over negative 10, and we need to reduce that. That would be negative 4/5 for the slope of that table. Okay, we're going to do the same here. Down, up, down, up. 10 over negative 8. If I simplify that, that's going to be negative 5/4. Alright, down, up, we get negative 10 over negative 8. That's going to be negative divided by negative is positive. So that's going to be a positive 5/4. And then last one. Okay, negative divided by negative is a positive. 3 goes into this 4 times. 3 goes into this 5 times. Okay, and because I need the parallel slope, those are the same slope, so I need a slope of 4/5. So D is the correct answer. So now you need to do the same on the right hand side. We need to find the slope, show our work of all of these, and match it to the graph because of the word parallel. Alright, now what I want you to do is I want you to flip over on the very back of this packet, and I want you to write a number 1, and I want you to write the equation for the line of best fit. I will give you a hint. It starts with Y1. This is the infamous equation that we have to type into Desmos to do the line of best fit, and some of us are struggling remembering that. It begins with Y1. If you still cannot remember, there's a few things. There's a video in the schedule this week under Monday. You could also ask a friend, and you could also look it up in your class practice notes. But under number 1 on the back of this sheet, I want you to write the equation that you put in Desmos for the line of best fit. All right, question number 2. Most missed on the test. Second in line there. Question number 1 was the most missed. This was the next most missed. So if we look at our answer choices, we see parallel lines. And we need to write right beside of that, same slope. Perpendicular lines, I want you to write right beside of that, opposite reciprocals. And then intersecting lines, but not perpendicular, you would write not opposite reciprocals here and not the same slope. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Slope for this first one, let's write y equals mx plus b right above that. And we know that m is the slope. So my slope here is 7. Okay. For this one, I want you to write ax plus by equals c. And the slope, when it's in that form, is the opposite of a over b. So a is 14, so the opposite of a is negative 14. And we need to be careful here. B is actually a negative 2. And when I simplify that, I get 7. And now let's compare these slopes. They are the same. Since they are the same, these lines are parallel. And now you need to show the same work over here to determine what type of lines this pair represents. Okay? Now what I want you to do is I want you to flip over on the very back, and I want you to make a number 2, and you're either going to state, I do need to make up the second part of the quiz from 2 weeks ago, or you're going to state, I do not need to redo the second part of the quiz from 2 weeks ago. That was the one where I wrote can redo at the top of your quiz. If you do have to redo it, I want you to write an additional statement that says, I will redo it on blank day during class. And then I want you to make an appointment with me to get that taken care of. Again, there's a video on the line of best fit if you cannot remember the steps. All right. Question number 3. On a coordinate plane, the graph of line M is described by the equation 2x minus y equals 3. Line N is perpendicular to line M. Perpendicular. We need to highlight that. That's important. And passes through the origin. Which equation describes line N? First of all, passes through the origin. That's the reason why all of these are equal to 0, is because if you do x and y intercepts by covering up, you'll see that you're going to get 0. So we don't really have to worry about passes through the origin, but we do have to worry about getting a line that is perpendicular. So first thing we're going to do is let's find the slope of this line. This is in ax plus by equals c form. So I'm going to come right over here, and I'm going to write a equals 2. B equals negative 1. There's an understood 1 there. And so now for this, opposite of A over B, opposite of A would be negative 2. B is negative 1. So we've got a slope of 2. Now I want the perpendicular slope. So I want you to write right here, opposite, reciprocal. And now we're going to write the opposite reciprocal. We flip it. That's your reciprocal. And then opposite means change the sign. So we're looking for a slope of negative 1/2. So now I'm going to do opposite of A over B for each one of these. So here A is 2, B is 1. Here A is 2, B is negative 1. Here A is 1, B is 2. Here A is 1, B is negative 2. Let's make sure we're writing this down. We're supposed to show all of our work. So now very quickly, I'm going to go down and do opposite of A over B. So opposite of A over B, opposite of A over B, which will simplify to a 2, opposite of A over B, opposite of A over B, which will simplify to 1/2. Now I am looking for negative 1/2. So this equation here, x plus 2y equals 0, will be perpendicular to 2x minus y equals 3 and pass through the origin. Okay, now I want you to flip over on the very back of this packet, and I want you to write number 3, and I want you to tell me, what do we know about parallel lines? There is a chart in my room that says parallel lines, and it has 2 blanks and it's filled in. That's what I want to know. What do we know about parallel lines? All right, last problem, the most missed, and I knew this was going to get some folks because it has pictures. It's got a graph. So I knew this would probably be very challenging for some folks, but I wanted us to have the opportunity to do a challenging problem. So it says the grid below shows the location of a train station A, B, and C. These are train stations in a coordinate plane. The straight track that connects B and C is shown. Another straight track will connect a 4th station D to A. So if you notice, we are missing D. We do not have D. This next statement is like what says it all here. This track will intersect the track at a right angle. At a right angle. So what I want you to do is we're going to draw a line here, and I want you to write right angle means perpendicular lines. And if you don't know how to spell perpendicular, let's Google it. We're going to write right here, right angle means perpendicular lines. So first thing that we're going to have to do, once we see the word parallel and perpendicular, we know we need to find our slopes. So I am going to find the slope of the line here, BC, and we'll find me 2 really good points. Again, they need to go through the corners of the boxes. We got to make sure they go through the corners of the boxes, and we need to be very particular. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so I am going to rise and run. And find out the slope. We're going to rise 1, 2, 3. We're going to run 1, 2, 3, 4. So the slope here is 3/4. So now I am looking for a line that is going to go through here and go through another line, and it's going to intersect at a 90-degree angle, making it perpendicular. So what do we know about perpendicular lines? We know they are opposite reciprocals. So instead of 3/4, I am looking for -4/3. I am looking for -4/3. So there's a few ways to do this. Now on a computer it's difficult. It could be done. But basically if we're looking for a line that has a slope of -4/3, I can actually start here and do -4/3 over and over and over again and create another line. So I'm going to do that just so visually you can see it. So from here I'm going to go down 4 and right 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So that would be a point on the line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That would be a point on the line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 would be a point on the line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 would be a point on the line. And you can actually get, you could just, if you had a ruler, you could actually make a line down through there and you would see it's perpendicular. Once you count all of these points, you could actually match these up. Okay, so 4, negative 6. That's not on the line. 4, negative 10 is not going to be on the line. 8, negative 3 is not on the line. 8, negative 10 is a point that we found that would be on this line. Okay. So the other way to do this is to take this point and use each one of these points and do. So we can do for each one of these. I am just going to do for the one that I believe is the answer. That's this fellow right here. So I'm going to take this point, which is negative 4, 6. And I'm going to do. So I get negative 16 on top, and I get 12 on the bottom, and that reduces to negative 4/3. So the line through these 2 points is going to give me a perpendicular line to the original. Okay. So when you go to show your work over here, you can do the same thing. First thing you're going to need to do is find the slope of this line, and then find your opposite reciprocal, and you can count like I did and mark your points. And then you need to double check it. When you think you have the answer, you need to double check it by doing do to ensure that it matches. Alright, last thing that I need for you to do is flip over on the back, write number 4, and tell me, what do we know about the slopes of perpendicular lines? It's 2 words. And hope you have a great day.